Hello, my name is James Robinson, and I've decided to do a blog on my investing and on value of investing in general. I'm calling the blog the Extrinsic Value blog because if you know anything about value investing, you can imagine that intrinsic value has already been taken. I define extrinsic value as the difference between the market price of a stock and its intrinsic value. So, reasons for doing a blog. The number one reason is I enjoy investing. It's a hobby as well as something that I'm able to do for profit. I think that having to publicly explain my investments will increase the rigor in my decision making. I think that having a deadline that I want to do this blog once a week, and I think having that deadline mentality will help me to do a better job of investing and focusing my time. Next, I hope to foster a community of like-minded people with whom I can share ideas, insights, and from whom I can learn, and which will hopefully make me a better investor. This is not meant to be a stock picking site, stock tip site. I'm going to give my opinion on stocks for sure, but not all of my content is designed to be stock tips. I'll talk about what I look for in stocks and why, discuss great articles, books, or videos. I'll talk about stocks that I've passed on as being overvalued and some reasons why I value them that way, and generally whatever seems to be relevant. Consider this more to be an investing diary than a stock tip. So some caveats to my blog if you choose to follow me. Number one, I do not think I'm the next Warren Buffett. I don't think I'm Ben Graham or Charlie Munger or even Monash Pabrai. I have no special insights, education, or skills that make me a better stock picker than you. I have no experience or track record which demonstrates my genius and hopefully or potentially my lack thereof. Some of my stocks will go up, some will go down. That's really the only assurance I can give. The other thing I want to make very clear is I'm doing this for my enjoyment only. I'm not looking to manage your money. It is entirely possible that all you learn from this blog is what not to do. But I am going to be completely honest. I'm going to talk about all of the stocks I'm buying, why I'm buying them, and we'll talk about the results when they go down. Hopefully we'll learn from those mistakes. So, what is value investing? Value investing is the philosophy that public companies have a value, that the value can be known or at least approximated, and that the market does not always price those stocks appropriately. In other words, there's often a difference between what the market thinks the stock is worth and what it's actually worth. Intrinsic value is the price a knowledgeable, dispassionate investor would pay for the entire company. The market price is the stock. So the difference between the intrinsic value and the market price is that the stock market price is derived through an arena where the participants come together to buy and sell stocks in an auction format. The market price is simply the current prices decided by the auction. The thing to keep in mind is that the market is motivated by more than just value. Some buyers like growth. Others may sell based on a negative opinion of the industry. Or individuals may buy because they're an employee and they like the product. Or they may sell even though they like the company because they need the money. The fact is there's more going on in the marketplace than just the intrinsic value. And that's why there's a potential opportunity to create investment outside market and outsized gains in the market because you're trying to focus on investment based on the intrinsic value, not looking at what the market's doing in their current mania. So extrinsic value, the reason I've called the extrinsic value blog is because I'm looking for companies where the difference between the intrinsic value and the market price is significant. In theory, either positive or negative, and then either buying or selling the stock short. So any talk about value investing has to start with Ben Graham, and this obviously is a picture of Ben. Ben Graham was the father of value investing. He founded the Graham Newman Fund. He was a professor at Columbia. He's famous for authoring two books. One's called Security Analysis, and the other is called The Intelligent Investor. And if you are thinking about being a value investor, stop listening to this blog, go read Security Analysis, and go read The Intelligent Investor. Security Analysis is effectively a college-level textbook on investing, but it was written in the early 30s. But don't let that hold you back. The knowledge in there is pretty timeless. The Intelligent Investor is a book, again, written by Graham, but much more for the general public, much less sophisticated, much less numbers and math, but still the same principles are in the book. So what are the concepts of value investing? Well, a large part of security analysis deals with valuing bonds. Stock analysis doesn't show up until 2/3 of the way into the book. And in valuing a bond, if you think about it, there are two primary concerns. Does the company have the cash flows today and into the future to pay the interest over time? Right? So that's really what the bondholder cares about, is getting their interest payments. Secondly, if they do not have the cash flows, does the tangible saleable assets have enough value to repay the bondholders for their investment? So again, a bondholder cares about two things. Am I going to get my interest payments, which are called, which are the coupons, the interest rate for the bonds? And if that fails to happen, can we liquidate the company and make me whole that way? It's really sort of a threshold kind of investing. If we can get to those two things, then we'll look at buying the bond. Hopefully we'll buy those bonds at a discount because the market doesn't value them fully. So that's the first concept that Ben Graham points out, which is if you're going to go do that much work as a bond investor, well, why not apply those exact same principles as a stock investor? If you think the company's got an ability to generate cash flow, well, that should help you determine the value of the business. And if you think that the company doesn't have an ability to create cash flow, but you think its assets are tangible, then that should help. Those two items should give you an idea as to the sense of the value of the stock. Warren Buffett was famous for what he called cigar butt investing. So cigar butt investing, according to Warren Buffett, is if you buy a stock at a sufficiently low price, there will usually be some hiccup in the fortune of the business that gives you a chance to unload at a decent profit. What's important to understand here is that Ben Graham didn't really care about the quality of business he was buying. He simply said, every business has some value. And if I can buy that business for a low enough fraction of that value, if I can create what he called a margin of safety, well, then I'm going to make a profit over the long term, because sooner or later those companies are going to go back towards their intrinsic value, and I'm going to make a nice profit on it. He never cared about the quality of the business. That's a key point. So Ben Graham had some significant advantages in cigar butt investing in the 30s and 40s and 50s when he was doing this. The first is that he was really the first to apply his principles. So he was the only one out there looking for these bargains. Today, that's not really the case because a lot of people are looking for those same principles. Second, he was willing to do the work. The data was much less available then, so he had to really dig and dig and dig to find information. But again, because data was less available, because Wall Street was so arcane back at that period of time, there was less people out there hunting for these things. So he actually could buy companies for less than the net working capital, which means the company had enough cash in the bank to justify the stock price that some of the companies were buying. The other thing to keep in mind, he was an activist investor. Oftentimes, if he found a company which was sitting on a bunch of cash, he would buy the stock in the company and potentially get together with some other investors and then go to the management and force them to pay a dividend with that cash, which would make him whole on his investment. So there's some big differences between Warren Buffett and Ben Graham, and we're going to talk about those in the next video. But it's important to know that Ben Graham is an idol of Warren Buffett and is the foundation for everything that Warren Buffett was able to achieve. Also, that Ben Graham was very fond of Warren Buffett. Apparently, Warren Buffett was the only student to ever get an A in his class in Columbia. But Warren Buffett took the things that Ben Graham created and ran with them. And we're going to talk about that more in the next video.